Good evening, friends. Today's discussion of the topic is based on the overview about the requirements and handling of standard operation procedure or standard operating procedure, what we call it as SOP. Well, myself, Hassan Reza, Assistant Professor, Bengal School of Technology, West Bengal, will deal with this topic briefly to make the students aware of how to prepare and handle standard operating procedure. The various learning objectives, if concerned, are what are SOPs, why SOP is essential part of pharma industry, how to prepare it, what are the parts of SOP and how the SOP is maintained. Now, when we deal with what are SOPs, you can see the above picture. Any kind of operating procedure or operation eventually carries lot of queries for the particular operation procedure, like who will do the work, what work should be done, where it should be done, why we are doing this work, and when we should do that work. So these are the queries or questions often scribble up into the minds of the technicians or the personals who are working over there. The queries are generally rectified by using a documentation which actually aligns them in a systematic order. So it's before SOP, the things are jumbled. After SOP, they are interconnected. So one has not to think much of how, who, what, where, why, and when the operation has to be prosecuted. Now, when you say about the various aspects of the application of SOP, it's in the industries, manufacturing, it may be uh, marketing, sales, finance, human resource, and information technology. There are a lot of scopes beyond it. We are going to discuss mainly on its use in the productions. Let us go for the SOP, that is Standard Operating Procedure. What do you mean by it actually? The Standard Operating Procedure is actually a written document of anything which is routinely or repetitively practiced by the employees in the organization. This is the first thing. Secondly, it mainly deals with the development and the use of SOPs, which is actually an integral part of the quality system. In order to have a reproducibility and quality in the operational output, the SOP plays a very significant role. It helps to maintain the dignity and the quality of the output. Next, to perform a job properly and consistently, if you want the reproducibility to a higher percentage of accuracy, it is only possible if we have a standard procedure for doing the job. And lastly, that is maintaining the safety concerns of the operation and the accessories along with the personals who are involved with it. Now, what are the essential parts? Means what SOP is essential part of pharma industry. Why? The first thing we have to remember is its regulatory requirement. As per the regulatory agencies of various countries, including our, as per the GMP, WHO GMP concern, as per the requirement of various uh, regulatory agencies, it is compulsory that the particular industry or the company should maintain a detailed activities in documented way where the procedures will be listed as SOPs. As I told before, it helps to ensure the quality. It also helps to ensure the good practice. That generally means your GMP, that is good manufacturing practice, good laboratory practice, as well as good clinical practice. So these are the important sectors. Provide advice and guidance to the locums and the part-times. It means that locums and the part-times mean they are not the experts. They are the daily basis workers who are working in the industry. If they get some kind of doubts or problems, the language of the SOP will be such that it can be understood by even the person who does not have a technical knowledge or skill. They are a useful tool of training the new members. So if you students, if the freshers are joining the company, the first thing they are being introduced is with the SOPs. Documentation's backbone is the SOP. So the students should learn in details how to prepare and what to be prepared in terms of SOP. Next, it provides the contribution to the audit. Now, audit means the regular audits of the regulatory agencies. The first thing they check is the SOPs, whether they are maintained properly or not. The general managerial or management SOPs gives an overview of how the company is being managed or controlled. So these are the aspects. Next, like it is also related with the health and safety along of the and as well as the environment of the persons who are involved in the job. Their safety issues are a major concern. It is also related with the safety of the environment and the community which is surrounding. I would like to mention that generally we have almost in all normal GMP, WHO GMP certified companies generally maintains an SOP of uh, around 1200 to 1300. So it's a very big number. Now, when we say of how to prepare an SOP, the first thing, it may be a revision or it may be a new one. Anything, the new documents or the change to existing documents which is needed has to be brought into notice. It will be brought into notice to the head of the department, who will actually forward the information to the head of quality assurance. Now, after quality assurance gets the information, they will ask what are the changes or what is the SOP they want to prepare. The data has to be provided to the quality assurance department, and after the quality assurance gets the information, they create a draft copy of the document. Maybe it's revised or a new one, and it is being forwarded back to the head of the department, who later discusses with the personals relevant or related to the particular SOP, and there is an agreement. Agreement means they give a node. So if it is positive, then they start producing or creating the SOP, or they create a draft copy of the change order. So what kind of change they are going to do in the case of review. If it is not accepted, it is again sent for revision for further or allocation and alteration. So after CO, submit for the formal review and approval. So after this, they are going to submit the actual document, which is the actual SOP, which is relevant or related to it. Now the document, if it is approved, it is undergoing the process of releasing the document. After the SOPs are being released to the concerned the department. The department further undergoes the training regarding that SOP so that the persons are aware of a new SOP. On the other hand, if there is revise, it is also to be, you can say, it has to be declared among the personals within the department by the head, and then we give an effective date with updating the master and the what you can say, master and the controlled procedure copies. Now I will let us say what is master and control copies. So this is the thing which is happening of how we are preparing it. So it's very clear, to me, hope so, that this SOP, let me say, this SOP where we were, this SOP actually deals with how to prepare, review and approve. So how we are preparing the SOP, how then after as we are preparing, we are reviewing the SOPs, and we see that whether there is as per the requirement concerned or not, and later we go for the approval. The same thing if you want to revise, it starts with the preparation or identification of the revisions we are preparing with the help of quality assurance department, followed by its review and finally its approval. Now SOP document tracking and archival. So obviously this, since it is a very important document, so archiving of it is very essential, and the main archiving of the document is being done by the quality assurance manager in master list of all SOPs. So there is a master list of all SOPs which generally comprises of SOP number, version number, date of issuance, title, author and organizational divisions along with branch section, etc. So what happens is, that is a higher order of archiving the SOPs. Now once you are getting the SOPs archived, so later whenever you need, the department needs, they can get it from the quality assurance archives. How to prepare the SOPs? If you say how to prepare the SOPs is concerned of, the main thing I would like to say that the SOPs are broadly divided into header, body and the signature block. Okay, the header mainly comprises of the logo, the name of the company with address, the name of the SOP what you are preparing, followed by it also comprises of the date of issue and as well also the date of review. Each SOP is being provided with a number, so generally this is one type. It's saying it doesn't mean it has to be done, you can just alter. So it can be the name of the institute, or it may be just writing as SOP. Then DC suggests you the various departments in the industry where we are going to use SOP. So there is personnel department, production department, maintenance, quality assurance, quality control, store and purchase. So these are the departments. So these short forms has to be used over there in the place of DC. The 3Y suggests the number position. So if it's the first SOP what you are preparing, so it will be 001. If it is the 100th one, you will write 100. So like this you have to maintain it. So I will just jump off a little faster. So this is regarding the procedure. Now the next thing which you have to remember is there is another part called as signature block. Signature block, just now I will show you, it is at the bottom comprising of the name, signature and you can say the date, and the name is being given there as what you can say the names, are given in terms of the person who is preparing it, who is verifying it, and who is approving. So that is the hierarchy of how it is being maintained. uh, the last thing I would like to say, within the body you generally have something, you can say, like core presence. I will show that will be better. So if you see over here, you can see that there is a purpose why you are using it, so you have to write why you are using it. The responsibility, it suggests actually the persons who are concerned about this SOP. So any kind of question and queries, those particular person or sitting in that chair should answer. Generally, how it is being maintained, the question comes. So if it is a SOP, the central or the master copy will be having a red stamp mark on it as master copy. Successive inquiry for the SOP after preparation is being done by the department head. So when he gets the SOP in his hand, so he just checks whether that master copy mark is there or not. But since it is a photocopy of what we have with the QA manager, so generally what happens, uh, that red mark becomes black over here because of a photocopy. Now what the concerned department head will do is that they will give a a blue mark naming as control copy, and it will be given over it, and they will preserve it. Later, depending on the needs, you need to display or spread the what you call the SOPs to the various places in your department. So if we say this is concerned of, we will not directly give the control copy, rather we will make a photocopy and we will give it to the display, which is called a display copy. Separately a mark of display will be written on the SOP. So these are how we are maintaining it. And the small thing I like to say is that when you're using the SOP, you should have seen you need a SOP holder. So generally in the manufacturing units or sectors, we generally go for using an stainless steel SOP holder, which is as per WHO and nominal GMP. You have to maintain the hygiene and there should be no rust. So it should be of good quality. Sometimes if it is multiple, it can be like this. So we are not using any plastic, rather there are other ways by which we can go for using the SOPs. So this is an overview of how, where, and when we can use the SOPs in the in the pharmaceutical industry. So hope so. It was a very good session to you, and we will be providing. You can see in the below we are providing the Google form link so that you can fill the queries in regards to the SOP what you have in your mind. So thank you.